The history of science and technology in the Philippines. Pre-colonial era. Our ancestors, way before Spaniards came, were already exercising the field of science and technology. Filipinos were already aware of the therapeutic properties of plants, and their extraction methods from herbs were already practiced. They also had a vast number of alphabets that is used in different locations, such as the Baybayin, a number system which is specifically used for trades, and a calendar. The Laguna copper plate inscription shows the use of mathematics in pre-colonial Philippine societies. A standard system of weights and measures is demonstrated by the use of precise measurement for gold, and familiarity with rudimentary astronomy is shown by fixing the precise day within the month in relation to the phases of the moon. Filipinos were also already engaged in farming, shipbuilding like the Balangays, which in doing so, geometric thinking and the application of science and math is critical to attain a high sealing efficiency. Mining and weaving were also prevalent at this time. The existence of Banawe rice terraces are one of the evidences of the ancient presence of enlightened Filipinos towards the field of engineering. The Spanish made a drastic change towards the Filipino outlook towards education. Although mostly limited to the upper class, they introduced formal education and founded scientific institutions. During the early years of Spanish rule in the Philippines, parish schools were established to teach religion, reading, writing, arithmetic, and music. Sanitation and agricultural advancements were also taught to the natives. The University of Santo Tomas, the oldest university in Asia, was founded by a Spanish friar. In 1687, the study of medicine in the Philippines was given priority in the Spanish era, especially in the later years. The Spanish also contributed to the field of engineering in the islands by constructing government buildings, churches, roads, bridges, and forts such as the Intramuros, the Palacio del Gobernador, and the Malacañang Palace. The field of biology was also given focus. Contributors to science in the archipelago during the 19th century were botanists Father Ignacio Mercado, Dr. Trinidad Pardo de Tavera, Dr. Leon Maria Guerrero, chemist Anacleto del Rosario, and medicine scholars like Dr. Manuel Guerrero. The Galilean trade have accounted in the Philippine colonial economy. Trade was given more focus by the Spaniard colonial authorities due to the prospects of big profits. The opening of the Suez Canal saw the influx of European visitors to the Spanish colony, and some Filipinos were able to study in Europe, particularly the Ilustrados, which include our national hero, Jose Rizal, and the likes of Graciano Lopez Haena, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Mariano Ponce, and Antonio Luna. Education was expanded in the arrival of the Americans. The Thomasides arrived in the Philippines on August 12, 1901 to establish a new public school system, to teach basic education, and to train Filipino teachers with English as the medium of instruction. Silliman University, the first American and Protestant-founded institution of higher learning in the Philippines and in Asia, was also established in 1901. The progress of science and technology in the Philippines continued under the American rule. The Bureau of Science was established on December 8, 1933, replacing the Bureau of Government Laboratories that was established on July 1, 1901. The Bureau of Science became the primary research center of the Philippines until World War II. Science during the American period was inclined towards agriculture, food processing, medicine, and pharmacy. Some of the known figure in this time is Maria Orosa. She invented 700 recipes in her lifetime, including Soyalak and Darak, which saved thousands of lives during the war. She also invented a process for canning goods for the guerrilla warriors fighting for the liberation of the Philippines. A well-known food chemist, she chose to work in the Philippines to help the country become self-sufficient. She is also famous for being the inventor of Banana Ketchup. In 1958, under the administration of Carlos P. Garcia, the Philippine Congress passed the Science Act of 1958, which established the National Science Development Board. During Ferdinand Marcos' presidency, the importance given to science grew. In the amended 1973 Philippine Constitution, Article 15, Section 9, he declared that the advancement of science and technology shall have priority in the national development. He added the Philippine Coconut Research Institute to the National Science and Development Board, now DOST, to modernize the coconut industry. The NSDB also established the Philippine Textile Research Institute. The Philippine Atomic Energy Commission of the NSDB explored the uses of atomic energy for economic development. Marcos assisted 107 institutions in undertaking nuclear energy work by sending scientists to study nuclear science and technology abroad, and providing basic trainings to 482 scientists, doctors, engineers, and technicians. In 1972, he created the National Grains Authority, now National Food Authority, to provide for the development of the rice and corn industry to fully harness it for the economy of the country under Presidential Decree No. 4, Series of 1972. He provided further support for the promotion of scientific research and invention with Presidential Decree No. 49, Series of 1972. This decree contains details on the protection of intellectual property for the creator or publisher of the work. He established the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA to provide environmental protection and to utilize scientific knowledge to ensure the safety of the people under Presidential Decree No. 78, Series of 1972. In 1973, he created the Philippine National Oil Company to promote industrial and economic development through effective and efficient use of energy sources. In 1976, he enacted a law under Presidential Decree No. 1038 to establish the National Academy of Science and Technology, which is composed of scientists with innovative achievement in the basic and applied sciences, to serve as a reservoir of scientific and technological expertise for the country. In 1978, he created a task force on the formulation of a national action program on science and technology to assess policies and programs of science and technology. Under Executive Order No. 512, Series of 1978. In 1979, he constituted the Health Science Center created by RA No. 5163 as an autonomous member within the University of the Philippines system to improve the internal organization and unity of leadership within its units. This is under the Executive Order No. 519, Series of 1979. The Fifth Republic. During Corazon Aquino's presidency, the National Science and Technology Authority was replaced by the Department of Science and Technology, giving science and technology a representation in the cabinet. Under the Medium-Term Philippine Development Plan for the years 1987 to 1992, science and technology's role in economic recovery and sustained economic growth was highlighted. On August 8, 1988, Corazon Aquino created the Presidential Task Force for Science and Technology, which came up with First Science and Technology Master Plan or STMP. The goal of STMP was for the Philippines to achieve newly industrialized country status by the year 2000. During her term, she encouraged scientists and inventors to bring the Philippines to its former position as second to only Japan in the field of science and technology. Ironically, it was during President Corazon Aquino's term and the reorganization of Philippine bureaucracy that Executive Order No. 128 abolished RA No. 3859, also known as the Philippine Inventors Incentive Act. RA 6655, or the Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988, opened doors to free education up to the secondary level. Implemented in the education system together with this was a Science for the Masses program, which aimed at scientific and technological literacy among Filipinos. There were noticeable improvements regarding science and technology as stated in President Fidel Ramos' State of the Nation address. In his third SONA, there was a significant increase in personnel specializing in the science and technology field. At 1998, the Philippines was estimated to have around 3,000 competent scientists and engineers. Schools were becoming more modernized and updated with the addition of high-tech equipment for student improvement, and teachers were getting training programs to benefit themselves and their students. Healthcare services were promoted through local programs such as Doctors to the Barrio program. The health care programs were innovative and effective as shown by the change in life expectancy from 67.5 years in 1992 to 69.1 years in 1995. Priority for S&T personnel increased when Magna Carta for Science and Technology personnel, or the Republic Act No. 8439, was established. The award was published in order to give incentives and rewards for people who have been influential in the field of S&T. Fidel V. Ramos believes that science and technology was one of the means wherein the Philippines could attain the status of New Industrialized Country or NIC. During his term, he was able to establish programs that were significant to the field of S&T. In 1993, Science and Technology Agenda for National Development or STAND was established. Congress during his term was also able to enact laws that were significant for the field. Among were Science and Technology Scholarship Law of 1994, also known as Republic Act No. 7687, and Inventors and Inventions Incentives Act or Republic Act No. 7459. The Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines or Republic Act No. 8293 was enacted during Ramos' term. The law provides industrial property rights, copyrights, and related rights and technology transfer arrangements. In President Joseph Estrada's term, two major legislation that he signed were Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, also known as Republic Act No. 8749, which was designed to protect and preserve the environment and ensure the sustainable development of its natural resources, and the Electronic Commerce Act of 2000, also known as Republic Act No. 8792, which outlaws computer hacking and provides opportunities for new businesses emerging from the internet-driven new economy. Aside from this, in his first State of the Nation address, President Estrada launched a full-scale program based on cost-effective irrigation technologies. His last State of the Nation address pushed for the advancement of industries and schools into the Internet age, as well as the announcement of the passage of the E-Commerce Act. In the Gloria Macapagal Arroyo's administration, the science and technology sector of the Philippines was dubbed as the Golden Age of Science and Technology by the Secretary Estrella Albastro. Numerous laws and projects in concern with science and technology were passed to help the economy. Moreover, the term Philippinovation was a coined term used in helping the Philippines to be an innovation hub in Asia. The SCI was developed further by strengthening the schools and education systems such as the Philippine Science High School, which focuses on science, technology, and mathematics in their curriculum. Private sectors were also encouraged to participate in developing the schools through organizing events and sponsorships, since future Filipino scientists and innovators can be produced through this system. One of the more known laws to be passed by this administration was the RA 9367, also known as the Biofuels Act. This act promotes the development and usage of biofuels throughout the country. This potentially enables a cheaper alternative to gasoline as a medium in producing energy. It is also beneficial to the environment since it boasts a cleaner emission compared to regular fuels. The government also created the Republic Act 10601, which improved the agriculture and fisheries sectors through mechanization, also known as the AFMEC. RA 10601 covers research, development, and extension or RDE, promotion, distribution, supply, assembling, manufacturing, regulation, use, operation, maintenance, and public implementations of agricultural and fisheries machinery and equipment. In 2014, President Aquino awarded 4 new national scientists for their contribution in the scientific field. Academicians Gavino C. Chono, Angel C. Alcala, Ramon C. Barba, and Edgardo D. Gomez was honored in their respective fields. Chono's contribution helped a lot of families in the coastal population to the extensive studies he made on seaweed species. Alcala served as a pioneer scientist and advocate of coral reefs aside from his contribution in the fields of systematics, psychology, and pathology. Barba's contribution changed the seasonal supply of fresh fruits to an all-year-round availability of mangoes through his studies on the induction of flowering of mango and micropropagation of important crop species. And Gomez steered the national-scale assessment of damaged coral reefs, which led a national conservation. Under the current Duterte's administration, RA 11035 was created. This is an act institutionalizing the Balik Scientist Program.